23 minutes after 10 o'clock, it's the Bullpen. It's the FAN590 Sports Radio in Toronto. Hogan and Toth with you. Two more mics on the way. Mike Wilner and Mike Mancuso will join us for some baseball talk. Jays in Milwaukee tonight at 8 o'clock. And since I believe the NBA final starts tonight around midnight, we'll have the conclusion of the game for you on the Fan following baseball.
You're down on that. You want these games played earlier.
Especially, well, I can understand it during the week, but in the on the weekend, on Sunday night, that was stupid.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Wheel of Mike's coming up. We'll also have Garrett Joyce on the program. First up, though, for the last few years, we have donated from the FAN590 15 minutes of fame to help raise money for the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Peel. And look, Tim Mitchell, who was the successful bidder a year ago, has found his way onto the airwaves.
Good morning. Took a while, but I got here.
Well, congratulations, and thank you on behalf of Big Brothers, Big Sisters. It's a fun tournament. I won't be able to, again this year. I'm going to miss it because of the Argo schedule, but they do things well there.
It is lots of fun. Absolutely, it's a great day. Just got to hope for some weather. It's been pretty rainy this year so far.
And usually I don't take part in the Big Brothers Big Sisters tournament because I do a lot of work with overprivileged teenagers in the community. So I can't spread myself too thin. That one man can only do so much.
So let's one of the things that obviously I want to get across here is your company, because hey, why not? We say if you're going to spend the money, plug the company. Go ahead.
Well, Coldwell Banker Innovators Realty in Brampton.
Small little company.
Well, yeah, we're almost 100, but we've got 22 commercial agents, and we've been filling a niche quite nicely there. Brampton's almost 500,000 now. When I was growing up, it was 17,000 when I was about 6 years old. So we're next.
Oh, things are changing, but one thing doesn't change. As sports fan such as yourself, Tim, you've got one team that really tugs at the old heartstrings.
Yeah.
It's and it always bugs the Buffalo people when we say this, so we always do it. It is the Buffalo-Toronto Bills. You're a long-time backer of the Bills, right?
Yeah, I've been a season ticket holder for 30 years, so I feel the pain, for sure.
What do you think of this move to Toronto, at least on a part-time basis? Are you happy or sad about this?
Kind of sad, but I think it's just something that's inevitably going to happen. I think the Wilsons are sort of wearing it out. They've been blue-collar prices for years. I've been to many stadiums in the NFL. My season tickets are $58 a piece. I'm 11th row, center field, visitor side.
$58.
$58 a game. Now, if you go to Pittsburgh, they're $400, $500. They're like Leaf prices. So, I mean, that blue-collar stuff's got to come to an end. And at the moment, the one game in Toronto, I don't mind it because it's December. That helps. It's a nice close drive rather than trying to fight the elements. But it's Miami, which I don't mind either, because Miami's not going to draw in Buffalo these days, not with the way they're playing.
Well, everybody gets all excited in Buffalo. Oh, this is the Buffalo-Miami rivalry. This is the Buffalo-Miami rivalry. But there's the key. It used to be, in my opinion, because Miami stinks these days. Parcells is going to do some good things, but that's going to take some time. But let me ask you this. Every time we talk to anybody who goes down to Buffalo, they always say the same thing. Oh, man, the tailgate. And they won't be able to do the same thing here in Toronto. Does that aspect bother you, or are you a big tailgate guy?
I was a big tailgate guy. You know, the drinking and driving issue is a big problem, and when you come across the border, you're nervous having one. So if I have one at a game...
Which is good.
Yeah. What we've been doing lately is we found a couple nice little restaurants down there, so we'll either go the day before or stay the day after. Like for the Monday night game, Dallas last year, we stayed overnight, so...
I've left Orchard Park some nights, and I've seen people get behind the wheel, and I go, "Oh my God, I think I'll stay behind a few cars just to make sure."
You don't know what's going to come out of a window in front of you. That's
when you go, do you look at this as something you do with friends and family, or do you use this for business purposes?
Very little business. I do take a lot of friends that are in business that have become good friends over the years. We have a lot of fun with it. And my son now, who's getting up there in years, he's 21, he's demanding an awful lot of tickets. So it's hard for me to even get in there. But I do like to give them out to the hospital auction or things like that occasionally. I gave the Giants tickets away last year to the Children's Aid.
Well, I'm an Eagles fan. I'd give the Giants tickets away, too.
There you go.
But let me ask you then about the move to the Rogers Center. Pretty pricey. How do you intend to use the tickets now?
Well, in Buffalo, you're given 7 games plus the preseasons. They're very kind to us. They used to make us buy 3 preseason games, and I guess as Buffalo's as they started to fall over the years, they took them all away. There's only 1 left now, but now there's 2, one in Toronto. But I don't know. The fans are going to go crazy. I remember they had New England here a few years ago for a preseason, and people don't care who's on the field. Yeah. They just love the game so much. So it's just like if you bring Benfica into town or the English soccer team, people go crazy. Mm-hmm. They want to see those teams. Mm-hmm. So it's a thirst that has to be quenched. And, I mean, I can see Buffalo eventually coming here. I can see within 5 years it being a 4-4 thing on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Mitchell is with us, the winner of our 15 Minutes of Fame contest with the Big Brothers organization. He won the honors at a golf tournament last summer. Tim, be careful now how you answer this, because you look over at my buddy, and he's the play-by-play voice of the Argos, and he's even got his Argos T-shirt on today, or I should say golf shirt. What about the Argos? I mean, do you have any interest in the Argos, and how do you think this Bills business is going to affect the Argos Football Club?
Well, I was a huge Argos fan growing up with the NFL. Once the bug bit me, I went to my first live game. That was it. Yeah. It was 1981 Cincinnati. I just loved the game so much. It was unbelievable. Argos, I do support them. I think that they're a great team. I think that it's going to help them, because I have not heard the numbers. You guys would know, but the season ticket base has to be up because
it went up a little bit because of people trying to jump the queue and make sure that they could get their tickets.
It's an exciting game. I do enjoy watching it. But once September 1st comes, it's hard to hold on to it. I do always watch and love the Grey Cup.
Hoagie, get off him! For God's sakes, he won a contest. Hoagie, get your hands off his neck.
No, I think both can survive here.
You've always said that.
Maybe we're in the minority here, Tim, but I think that the clientele are different. I think that they're targeting a different demo, for one thing. Yeah. And there are a lot of people, quite frankly, aren't going to be able to afford NFL tickets. So if they want to get a live football fix.
Look at the Raptors 2 years ago. You couldn't get a person in that place, and all of a sudden the yuppies are there. Like, you go to that game, it's complete different from the Leafs. You'll see all young kids with sweaters tied in knots, compared to the Leafs, where it's just rah-rahs, let's go crazy for the Leafs. But it'll happen. It would happen with football, too. I think the same. Corporate will jump in there, but...
Sure. I hope there are enough, especially with kids, who are going to be able to get in, whether their parents take them or whatever. Because when you're looking, you've got a couple of young kids. Yep. You don't want to go spending $400 a ticket on a 2-year-old to go to a football game.
Well, usually what we do when we go to a sporting event, myself and my wife, is we just leave the kids in the parking lot and just crack the window a bit.
That's good.
That's them and the dog. Philosophy on child rearing. I'm sure everybody appreciates that. But no, you're right. I think there is another market. In a lot of ways, guys, I think that's what Toronto FC has benefited from, too. Yeah. There was an opening there for people who wanted to attend a live sporting event and have a lot of fun doing it, and now they're packing the place. Speaking of soccer, Tim, are you interested at all in the Euro Championships going on?
Well, I just read an article in Sports Illustrated saying, I hate soccer and you do too, don't you? I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, no, I didn't yet. No.
It's quite interesting. A guy who sits in the fans, he hates the game and he still can't see it. He says he just can't stand the game. I'm interested in it, but I'm interested in it when it means something. Today, I think Netherlands are going to sit all their players, and it's going to break a lot of Italian hearts.
Yeah, because if Romania beats the Netherlands, the Italians and the French are out.
That's right.
So the controversy is already...
It's going to happen. It just happened with Portugal. They sat everybody, and they lost 3-0. So...
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about, you mentioned you've got a 21-year-old son.
Yeah.
I've just got a couple of little guys at home. When he was growing up, what sports was he interested in? Was he on the leading edge of this soccer craze where you see so many kids playing soccer?
No, he's a Portuguese fan, so he'd follow the Portuguese fans. He's got an uncle who's crazy for it, so he loves it. No, he's a crazy Leaf fan, insane Leaf fan. He loves the Bills.
Underline the word insane there, Tim.
Well, typical. How's that sound?
Insane Leaf fan is redundant.
Well, speaking of family, you've got some family ties to a guy, and we've got the website up here right now, Hoagie. This is right in Hoagie's wheelhouse here. Tell us about this website. Tell us about who's put it up, and tell us about what it's all about.
Well, my cousin Steve has created a website called www.diehardballfan.com, where he and his family are heck bent on seeing every baseball stadium ever. He tries to get to the old ones as quick as he can before they go, but he's working real hard. If you take a look, you can check it out. It's a real fun family site. Lots of pictures of the kids and stadium angles, et cetera, et cetera.
And not just major league parks.
Right.
Yeah, go to the minor league ones as well, which sometimes are more fun. I know you've got the affinity for the one in Calgary.
Yeah,
and
McCoy Field is fabulous.
Yeah, and the stadium in Buffalo, the baseball park in Buffalo is great, too. They've got great food. Get the barbecued beef if you're going to a Buffalo Bisons game.
Now, do you have the same bug about traveling, checking out stadiums?
Well, I'm a football stadium guy. I've tried to get to as many as I can. I don't mind the minor leagues as well, but I love football stadiums.
What's your favorite stadium that you've been to, and why?
Probably Pittsburgh's new stadium is pretty darn nice, especially with the view.
Baseball or football?
Both. They're both right beside each other. Yeah.
Oh, okay. They're on the same.
I haven't been in the baseball stadium, but I've been by it, of course.
Yeah.
You haven't been to the baseball park in Pittsburgh.
I've not been to downtown Pittsburgh.
Oh,
ever.
Is that right?
Well, that's
I've not been. I've heard it's really turned around in the last 30 years.
I got a question to ask you off the air because the Blue Jays are going to Pittsburgh this weekend.
Yes, my son's going down.
Oh,
and I want to go. Now, I know you've got the old ball and chain, your girlfriend, that type of thing, but we have to negotiate
potential
a little
here.
bit. Is there some potential?
We'll find out.
All right, we'll talk about that in a commercial break. Now, you mentioned your
Can
son.
we get tickets?
You cheapie.
Tickets aren't a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Very sarcastic when I said that.
See. Although the Pirates are starting to play a little bit better. Now, you mentioned, Tim, that your son was a Leaf fan, and we'd be remiss if we didn't spend a little time talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Right. I mean, you're a businessman out there in Brampton, so you look at things from a business perspective.
Yep.
What about the Toronto Maple Leafs and their organization as a whole? What would you say?
The team has to be sold, or nothing will ever happen. Is my opinion.
Wow.
I don't think anything's going to happen. They're making a lot of money. I've had a couple good conversations yesterday with people that think things are going to turn around, but I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. I think the management are very happy with what they've got, and they've got to start bringing players up, grooming them, and getting them to play with it. You can't keep drafting 32, 3-year-old. I'm trading for 33, 4-year-old guys. It's not going to work.
With the new collective bargaining agreement, the salary cap, et cetera, if you don't produce guys from within your system, you're dead.
They have to blow the season and be last place for you-know-who next year. That's what I would say.
Well, at least they're making the right kinds of noise about going in that direction, and they're holding on to their first-round pick and that type of thing. We're with Tim Mitchell, who won the 15 Minutes of Fame contest at a Big Brothers golf tournament last year, and as a result gets a chance to guest with myself and Hoagie, and we really appreciate that. Tim, what about the Blue Jays? There's lots of talk, and actually I've been talking about it probably the most, that maybe they need to make some moves in terms of the manager, John Gibbons, and now you're starting to hear more and more rumbles about that. What do you think about Gibbons, and generally, what do you think about the Blue Jays?
Blue Jays are kind of flying under the radar right now. I have no idea where they're going to go. I've been pretty impressed with the pitching. A couple of the guys are pretty good, but I don't know. I don't see it. They can't seem to hold on to the game at the end. I don't know what it is about it, and if you can blame a manager, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, you can, Tim. Please do.
Well, that might very well be it then, because maybe you guys got to come in from the bullpen.
I need some ammunition because I'm about to have a little chat with Mr. Wilner along with Hoagie, and I need all the help I can get. But my point here is, and Hoagie, you can touch on this, the New York Mets, okay, one game under 500, not living up to expectations. They fire Willie Randolph as their manager. The Blue Jays, one game under 500, not living up to expectations. What's the love affair with John Gibbons? What are the Blue Jays waiting for?
Mm-hmm. Especially since there had been the love affair with Willie Randolph in New York. I mean, he was the
answer, man. He came over from the Yankees, and he was going to put everything right, and all of a sudden it goes south, and they don't hesitate to make a move.
Some franchises just know how to get it right. Mets, except for that one time, it seems, well, two, actually, if you talk about the 60s as well. But some franchises just can't get it right. Look at the Raiders, the money they've just spent. They spent $300 million for this team, and it happens every year.
Yeah, Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
They're good, but they're not great, and they have a lot of money invested in that team. They make a lot of money, but they've got a lot of money invested as well. This is great. So tell me about your golf game before we let you go.
Next topic. Next question.
How did you do last year?
Well, last year I did all right. Yesterday I was in a scramble for the hospital, and we got second place by one stroke. It was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of lucky shots, but we're up against some pretty hot players as well. So, no, I'd rather talk about your Eagles. I don't know what they're going to do this year.
You want to play quarterback?
The other stadium I really loved was Minnesota, actually. And
really?
And Buffalo's up there, too, because they were so loud. I mean, I saw Tampa Bay on a Monday night there, and it was so loud you couldn't.
No, when did you start your tour de force of NFL stadiums?
Probably 20, 25 years ago.
Oh, so which one of the old ones did you ever get to a game at Three Rivers or the Vet?
No, neither. I wouldn't want to go to Philly. I've had friends who've been to Philly, and if you show another team's colors, you might as well.
It's not
crazy.
It's not bad unless you wear Dallas or the Giants. Leafs? Oh, okay. At a hockey game, sure.
A friend of mine went in a mobile home, and they had to be escorted out with police front and back while guys were hitting on the mobile home.
Hey, Tim, Hoagie will take care of you in Philadelphia, and Hoagie, I'll take care of you in Pittsburgh this weekend, and we'll be one big happy family, baby.
If you were to wear Bills paraphernalia in Philadelphia, I think you'd be fine.
Maybe.
I think you'd be fine. If you
you got to live life dangerously, Tim.
We had a writer
not anymore.
We had a writer on from Philly during the Big Three era in Dallas,
right?
And he walked in. He didn't have an Irvin shirt on. He didn't have an Aikman or an Emmitt Smith. He wore a Deion Sanders shirt. Into jersey into Philly into the Vet. And 4 or 5 different occasions, he had to pull out his press credentials and explain what he was doing because they were going to beat the crap out of him.
I have 2 hilarious quick stories. The first one, I took my kids to Yankee Stadium when they were 8 and 6 years old. All they had was a sign saying, "Hey, TSN, we're on tonight's sports."
Well, see, that would get you beat up right away.
Fans wanted to. You better get your brats to put that sign down, or we're going to hang them, and we're not kidding. The other story was my mom. I took her to her first game in the NFL. It was Pittsburgh, her favorite team. Always loved them.
Yeah.
She's like 65 years old at the time. Brought her right down, sent her out, bought her a Pittsburgh hat. Now,
Yep.
do you think she could enjoy that game? People went insane wanting her out of there.
And
So she took the hat off.
Where
Poor
was this
old
in
lady
Buffalo?
coming in to watch the game.
Oh,
very
nice.
quietly, not even cheering.
Nice.
They wanted her out.
Hey, Grandma,
hilarious.
get out!
So let's get a couple more plugs in before we go. Another one for the company and another one for your brother's website. Why not?
Sure, Cousins. www.diehardballfan.com and www.cbinnovators.com if you're looking for some commercial property.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Did you have fun?
It was great.
There's
Great fun.
there's an opening coming up 1 to 4 here on the Fan. Swirsky's leaving.
Sounds good.
Can you afford the pay cut?
Probably.
Okay,
Probably.
well, radio would be your choice then.
Yeah.
A pleasure. Tim, thank you so much.
Hey, thanks very much for having me.
Tim Mitchell supporting Big Brothers Big Sisters of
He
Peel.
was too good. Let's get him out of the building as quickly as possible.
Mike Wilner, the reunion with Mr. Toth coming up next here on the Fan.